Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all of the audience. My name is Rashid. I will be discuss with you regarding this first chapter, which is Introduction to Coffee. Let's move into the next slide. Learning outcome. At the end of this session, I hope that all of you know to explain the origins of coffee, and then to talk about the bean bell, and last but not least to differentiate between the most popular coffee species, Arabica, Robusta, and also now we go into the bean bell story. So the bean belt, actually the area where the bean is mainly being cultivated. So where the bean belt are situated between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, which is the most ideal climate and altitude with the soil condition for the coffee cultivation. The warm temperature and the seasonal rainfall support this cultivation. If you can see from the pictures, you can look into the blue area. It started from the Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, until the Brazil, Colombia, or the southern of America. So we look into the key regions for this coffee cultivation. Number one in this world will be Brazil, which located in South America. Brazil actually responsible for a significant portions of a global coffee production, which is around 30 to 40% of coffee production. Whereby the neighborhood country, which is Colombia, ranked the second in Arabica production only, but it became third in the world coffee productions. And then we look into the key region in Asia. In Asia, Vietnam became the number one contributor for the Robusta species, but overall coffee, it's become the second largest producer. Whereby the Indonesian actually currently become the fourth largest producers, but its aim actually to surpass the Vietnam to claim the second spot with the support of the governments, agencies, and also the research. They will say around 2 to 3 years after this, Indonesia will become the second largest producers of coffee. Now we look into the origins of the coffee itself, the region of Africa. So the region of Africa, Ethiopia become the most recognized birthplace of coffee, with earliest evidence of coffee consumption and cultivation are originating from the region. We talk about the culti actually from Yemen, and Ethiopia also become one area whereby this coffee transaction become one and areas. Then we look into the key region in Central America, which is above Brazil and Colombia. Guatemala, also known as one of the coffee producer who have a unique flavor because the soil itself a rich volcanic nutrient that make the coffee farm cultivate there have a distinctive and a very unique flavor. Besides that, we have Costa Rica and also other areas such as Panama and also Honduras. Okay, after we look into the coffee bean belt, now we understand what shapes the flavor for the coffee. Okay, actually the altitude and the temperature became the number one factor to shapes the flavors of the coffee. Arabica usually being planted in a higher altitude rather than Robusta and Liberica. With the higher altitude and temperature, with the lower temperature, it produces a very juicy, fruity, and a nice flavor, which is not so harsh because it's a high altitude, low oxygen, and a very low temperature. It produces a mild types of coffee flavor, whereby the lower altitude and higher temperature such as Robusta and Liberica, it will produce a very strong flavor, a strong bright flavor. Besides that, we will talk also the climate and rainfall, soils, nutrients become also the major contributor to the flavors of the bean. As I discussed earlier, in the area where the soil is very rich in the nutrient, will give a very unique flavor to the tree and then unique flavor to the bean itself. Last but not least will be the processing method of this bean.